was trodden well by those messengers of murder, the men with a tale to tell. And the beams of the high white moon gave a glimmering day through night, till she came where that lawn of the woods lay wide in the flood of light. Then she looked, and lo, in its midmost a mighty man there stood, and levered the earth of the green sword with a truncheon torn from the wood. And behold, it was Sigmund the Volsung, but she cried and had no fear. If thou art living, Sigmund, what day's work dost thou here, in the midnight in the forest? But if thou art not but a ghost, then where are those Volsung brethren, of whom thou wert best and most? Then he turned about unto her, and his raiment was fouled and torn, and his eyne were great and hollow, as a famished man forlorn. But he cried, Hail, Sister Signy! I looked for thee before, though what should a woman compass? She went alone and no more, when all we shielded Volsungs did not in Siggeir's land. Oh yea, I am living indeed, and this labour of mine hand is to bury the bones of the Volsungs. And lo, it is well nigh done. So draw near, Volsung's daughter, and pile we many a stone, where lie the grey wolf's gleamings of what was once so good. So she set her hand to the labour, and they toiled, they twain in the wood, and when the work was over, dead night was beginning to fail. Then spake the white-hand Signy, Now shalt thou tell the tale of the dead that the Volsung brethren ere the wood thy wrath shall hide, ere I wend me back sick-hearted in the dwelling of kings to abide. He said, We sat on the tree, and will ye me wot indeed, that we had some hope from thy good will amidst that bitter need. Now none had scathed the sword edge in the battle utterly, and so hurt were Agner and Helgi, that, unhelped, they were like to die. Though for that we deemed them happier, but now when the moon shone bright, and when by doomed man's deeming 'twas the midmost of the night, lo, forth from yonder thicket were two mighty wood-wolves come, far hugger to my deeming than the beasts I knew at home. Forthright on Gylfi and Garmin those dogs of the forest fell, and what of men so hobbled should be the tale to tell. They tore them midst the irons, and slew them then and there, and long we heard them snarling o'er that abundant share. Night after night, oh my sister, this story was the same, and still from the dark in the thicket the wildwood werewolves came, and slew two men of the Volsungs whom the sword edge might not end. And every day in the dawning did the king's own woodman wend, to behold those craftsmen's carving and rejoice King Siggeir's heart. And so was come last midnight, when I must play my part, forsooth when those first were murdered my heart was as blood and fire. And I deemed that my bonds must burst with my uttermost desire, to free my naked hands, that the vengeance might be wrought. But now was I wroth with the gods, that had made the Volsungs for naught, and I said, In the day of their doom a man's help shall they miss. I will be as a wolf of the forest, if their kings must come to this. Or if Siggeir indeed be their king, and their envy has brought it about, that dead in the dust lies Volsung, while the last of his seed dies out. Therewith from out the thicket the grey wolves drew a knife, and the he-wolf fell on Siggeir, but he gave forth never a cry, and I saw his lips that they smiled, and his steady eyes for a space. And therewith with the she-wolf's muzzle thrust into my very face. The gods helped not, but I helped. And I too grew wolfish then. Yea, I, who have borne the sword held high mid the kings of men, I, lord of the golden harness, the flame of the glittering heath, must snarl to the she-wolf's snarling, and snap with gritty teeth, while my hands with the hand-bonds struggled. My teeth took Helga first, and then made her mighty writhe in the bonds that bound me burst, as with Fenrir's wolf it shall be. Then the beast with the hopple's eye smote, when my left hand stepped with the bonds I got her by the throat. But I turned when I had slain her, and there lay Siggeir dead, and once more to the night of the forest the fretting wolf had fled. In the thicket I had till the dawning, and thence I saw the men, in Siggeir's heart rejoicers, come back to the place again, to gather the well-loved tidings. I looked and I knew forsooth, how hate hath grown in my bosom and the death of my days of ruth, though in slain they departed from me, lest Siggeir come to doubt. But hereafter, yea hereafter, they that turned the world about, and raised hell's abode o'er got home, and mocked all men folks, worth, shall my hand turn back or falter, while these abide on earth, because I once was a child, and sat on my father's knees. But long living shall Siggeir abide merely at ease, in
Hey,
built house
Very
of the
Beast,
gods,
what's up?
with his shielded earls around, his borders of day and of night tide, and his world of peopled ground, while his foe is a swordless outcast, a hunted beast of the wood, a wolf of the holy places, where men folk gather for bed. And didst thou think, my
Oh, you
sister,
mad? I'm
when we
sorry.
sat in our summer bliss,
Thought you was trying to
beneath the
kill
boughs of
me.
the prince deck, that the world was like to this? As the moon and the twilight mingled, she stood with kindling eyes, and answered and said, My brother, thou art strong, and thou shalt be wise. I am nothing so wrought as thou art with the ways of death and hell, for thereof had I a deeming when all things were seeming well. In sooth over
King
long
Smoky,
linger.
King Smoky.
The children of murder shall thrive, while thy work is a weight for thine heart, and a toil for thy hand, to drive. But I wot that the king of the god folk for his deeds shall surely pay, and that I shall live to see that thy wrath shall pass
Who?
away, and long shalt thou live on the earth,
Carl?
an exceeding glorious king, and thy words shall be told in the market, and all men of thy deeds shall sing. Fresh shall thy memory be, and thine eyes like mine shall gaze on the day unborn in the darkness, the last of all earthly days, the last of the days of battle, when the host of the gods is arrayed, and
Fire,
there
fire.
is an end forever of all who were once afraid. There as thou drawest thy sword,
Fire,
thou
fire.
shalt think of the days that were, and the foul shall still seem foul, and the fair shall still seem fair. But thy wit shall then be awakened, and thou shalt know indeed why the brave man's spear is broken, and his war shield fails at need. Why the loving is unbeloved, why the just man falls from his state, why the liar gains in a day what the soothfast strives for
Fire.
late.
Fire.
Yea, and thy deeds shalt thou know, and great shall thy gladness be.
Oh, Uncle
As a
Remus.
picture all of gold thy life days shalt thou see, and know that thou do word a God to abide through the hurry and haste. A God in the golden hall, a God on the rain-swept waste, a God in the battle triumphant, a God on the
Coulda
hill of
y'all,
the slain,
number
and
one.
thine hope shall arise and blossom, and thy love shall
Can you come in
reign.
here, or do you
Again,
want me
and
to
then
go
shalt
somewhere?
thou see before thee the face of all earthly ill. Thou shalt drink of the cup of awakening that thou
Okay,
hast opened
so
to
I'm gonna have to
fill.
leave,
By
guys.
the side of the sons of Odin shalt thou fashion a tale to be told, in the hull of the happy Baldur, nor there shall the tale grow old, of the days before the